And welcome on in, everybody, to the Jazz post-game reports. And the Jazz were so close. They were down by 17 at one point in the fourth quarter. They fought all the way back. The Pelicans, they missed a shot. Bogdanovich got the rebound. He kicked to Mitchell. Mitchell found O'Neal. O'Neal hit the three. Oh, man, we made it a one-point game with 47 seconds. Then the Pelicans, they miss the shot. The Jazz get the rebound. Mitchell drives in for the layup. No good. Gobert gets the tip in. No good. In. The Pelicans, they make two free throws, right? We're still in it. Only down by three. And then Quinn Snyder. What the hell was that? What on earth was that call from Quinn Snyder right there? And I just didn't understand what they were trying to do on that last play, Blake.
I didn't either. And, there was a lot of issues with the offensive execution in this game. And, I mean, that was obvious, especially at the end of the game. But throughout, there was actually a pretty good scoring output from the Jazz. Defensively, though, you don't want to give a team, especially like New Orleans, 70 second half points. And consequently they scored 129 points in this game. The Jazz have scored 124 points for 2 games straight. They did it against Orlando and they did it against New Orleans. The difference is on the defensive end, and while Orlando is an okay team, New Orleans is a little bit better in my opinion. They're in a tough
On the
conference.
offensive side of the ball,
I
yeah.
mean, absolutely, and that's
Here
and
was the
that's
problem.
what really plagued us.
Here's why we lost this game. I mean, there's not really much to break into. The first half was fine. We played really good basketball. Bogdanovich, shout out to him, 31 points. I mean, Bogdanovich had a great night all around the game. But the problem was, to start the fourth quarter, the missed Gobert dunk, the missed Mitchell dunk, the missed free throws. I mean, all that killed us. It killed us. Those were the things that, imagine we had done that. Imagine we had, and then when Mitchell also missed a wide open layup, not the last one, because that one was a contested one, but he missed a wide open layup, missed a dunk. Gobert missed a dunk and missed a free throw. That's 7 points right there.
There was
How much did we lose?
one bright spot that I did see was
Not
Bojan
more than one.
Bogdanovich. Bojan
Yeah.
Bogdanovich. Huge night for
Bogdanovich.
him. 31 points, 11 for 21 field goals, 7 for 11 three-pointers, had 7 rebounds, 1 assist, 3 steals. They played okay on the offensive side of the ball, but when you flip it over, you got to be able to play better perimeter defense. And that's one of the things, especially at the end of the game there, you just saw J.J. Redick. He wrapped around screens and just started making shots left and right, and they couldn't contest him. And that's an issue. Perimeter defense has been tough. And also, same thing with the.
No, actually, the perimeter defense is fine. We only really let them have less than 10
But,
threes.
17 points.
Right.
When
You want to know
less than 10 threes, but
you
it's
wanna know what the
also
real issue was? The
inside.
mid-range. The
Inside,
mid-range.
too. Yeah, that's
It
true.
was the mid-range that we
Which is
cannot
what they
stop.
thrive
And
on.
it was the
And,
same.
but the problem is that they scored 129 points, and you can't let the Pelicans do that if you want to win a game. I mean, especially like the Jazz actually outscored the Pelicans 36-30 in that fourth quarter, but in the third they just got absolutely tortured.
Well, the
40
third
to
quarter was where we
24.
kind of blew the game.
Yeah, they
But
did not play
it
well in
really
the third.
wasn't. The thing that killed us against both the Clippers and the Pelicans was not doing the simple things. That was it. And oh man, I totally forgot what I was gonna say. It was not doing the simple things and the mid range. That's what it was. The mid range killed us. The Clippers shot so much mid range that game, and it really showed. And what happened with the Pelicans tonight? Went back to that mid range and it killed us. I mean, they hit a ton of mid range shots. The defense really wasn't in sync together. I mean, Gobert had a solo night. He had 22 as well, but again, those missed dunks, those missed free throws. I mean, that's really what killed us in this game. You
Yeah.
know, I mean, their last 4 points were on a two free throws and a breakaway slam after a terrible play call by.
Here's the other crazy thing about the Pelicans. They run an 8-man rotation. There is nobody outside of those 8 guys who gets minutes. That 8-man is going to consist of Zion Williamson, Brandon Ingram, Steven Adams, LaMelo Ball, or not, Lonzo Ball, Eric Bledsoe, Willie Hernangomez, J.J. Redick, and Josh Hart. And those guys are all mid-range threats. I don't think there's a single guy in that lineup who can't hit mid-rangers. Maybe you could say
Yeah.
Steven Adams doesn't have that capability, but he still does, I think. But, I mean, overall, they have a pretty good roster. They just don't play a lot of these guys. So, it was just killer. And they were able to get inside, and they shot a really good percentage from the floor as well.
And Zion
56.5.
Williamson had whatever he wanted, especially.
But also, that is, and also the Jazz had a good offensive night. But just look at the shooting numbers.
Not in the third quarter, we didn't.
Not in the third quarter, but that's an odd one out because in the quarter right before that we scored 41, which should have canceled out if we would have had a half decent third quarter, but we just had a terrible one. But if you look at the shooting numbers for New Orleans, it's just outrageous. They had a fantastic night, and that's one of the things that we're seeing with the Jazz. To beat them, you have to have a heck of a night shooting, and the Pelicans absolutely had.
You just have to match. Even
well, I mean,
we had a chance.
They hit 52 shots.
Listen,
the Jazz hit 46.
With 30 seconds to go to make a layup, and we would have been on top. We would have been leading with 30 seconds to go, 126, 125. If that layup falls in and just takes the right bounce, that's it. That's all. That's all we were away from winning this game.
Yeah.
I mean, just a
tough
loss. And the Jazz now have one more game remaining here in the first part of the NBA schedule. We play the Sixers on Wednesday. We, of course, will be live. And then we head to the second half of the schedule where the Jazz do have the easiest overall schedule remaining, but it's going to be, we play like that on a nightly basis. We play like a third quarter Jazz team tonight, which is where we excel.
Absolutely. That's where they adjust. Tonight they didn't do it. Didn't do it at all. In fact, I think the issue was the Pelicans adjusted to us because they knew that we were going to change it up, and they just did it better.
And they were ready. But that is going to wrap it up for the post-game report. I'm your host, Addison, along with Blake. We hope you guys did enjoy it. If you guys did, make sure to smash up the like button, hit that subscribe button if you guys are new to the channel, and we will see you guys on Wednesday for the Jazz and Sixers.